Hey, and welcome back to the Deliberate Exchange. My name is Chelsea. If you are just tuning into this podcast, hello and welcome. If you are coming back and listening to another episode, I'm so grateful and happy that you're here too. Uh, by the time that this episode is released, it'll be 2026. We're in a new year, and as always, my intention with this podcast, with the work that I do, is to help you. So, there are a few concepts that land in your body the moment you hear them. Not because like they're super duper flashy or anything, but because they name something that you already kind of intrinsically know. When I came across the law of ambition, I felt that click. Now, I already knew some of the universal laws, like the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, this idea that your inner world reflects your outer world and vice versa. And those are concepts that I have worked with over the last 6 years and have had amazing success with. This one felt a little bit different. Now, it wasn't necessarily about manifesting or mindset or wanting something badly enough. It was about capacity. And when I heard it, I realized, like, oh, I've actually been living this for years without particularly naming it. Now, the law of ambition is something that I'm consciously leveraging as I move into 2026 in my work, my money, especially, my leadership, and of course, my nervous system. So today's episode is not philosophy, it's kind of like an instruction manual where I show you what the law of ambition actually is, why ambition collapses for so many capable women, uh, and how to use this law in a very grounded, embodied way starting today. So, let's get into what is the law of ambition. The simplest way to understand it is that ambition expands or contracts based on the internal container you're operating from, meaning you don't rise to the level of your goals, you rise to the level of what your nervous system, your identity, and your self-trust can safely hold. This is why two people can want the same thing, and one moves towards it steadily while the other one stalls out, sabotages, or burns out. This is not a matter of discipline, desire, or intelligence. This is about capacity. Ambition is not something that you force, it's something that emerges when the system feels safe enough to expand. So, why does this matter, and why do people sometimes miss it? When I thought about this, I came to the conclusion that most ambition advice sounds like dream bigger, push harder, get more clear, be more consistent. And truthfully, if your nervous system is dysregulated, and I've talked about this before, your self, your nervous system, and your ambition will always shrink back to survival because your body prioritizes safety before growth every single time. So if you've ever wondered like why you feel inspired and then overwhelmed, or why momentum comes in bursts, if you're ever kind of wondering like why success feels heavy instead of freeing, or why money increases but peace doesn't, that is not a mindset issue, that is a capacity issue. And the law of ambition explains why. So the core principle of this is to remember that ambition is not about wanting more. It's about becoming available for more. Available emotionally, energetically, available in your nervous system, available in your identity. And this is where everything shifts. And this is probably the reason why this particular law of ambition, when I heard it, really had that click for me. So let's talk about how you can leverage the law of ambition step by step. And these are what I will be taking into 2026. So the first step is identify where ambition collapses. So instead of asking, what do I want you to think about, where does my ambition shrink? So you can think about where and in what areas are you procrastinating? Where do you feel pressure instead of excitement? Where do I say I want more, but then I avoid the next step to achieve more? That's often not laziness, that's the edge of your capacity. And the good news is ambition doesn't disappear randomly. It collapses at the point where the system feels unsafe. And I say like that's the good news because we have a data point. The second step is building safety before strategy. I think that this is where we tend to get it backwards. So before you plan, scale, launch, decide, price, commit, you regulate. Ambition grows in safety, not urgency. So you might say something like, if your body is braced, no strategy will stick. And so some practical examples of this is you want to regulate your system before you have any kind of conversation about money. You want to take a breath before making a decision. You want to slow down to speed up, right? This alone will change a lot. Step 3 is separating true ambition from survival ambition. And I think that this is especially important for high functioning women because survival ambition sounds like I need to prove this, I can't slow down. If I stop, everything falls apart. Once I hit this goal, I can rest. Whereas true embodied ambition feels very grounded, it feels spacious, curious, it is rooted in self-trust. And so you can consider like, is this desire coming from expansion or escape? Okay. So the fourth step is expanding identity before outcomes. So instead of you asking, what do I want to achieve in 2026? I want you to consider, the question is, who do I need to be able to hold what I want? So some examples of that are like more money requires more self-trust. If you have more visibility, it requires more nervous system capacity. More leadership requires more boundaries. Ambition follows identity and not effort. Step 5, shrink the ask, increase the integrity. Ambition isn't going to grow through really big declarations. It grows through small, clean, self-trust building actions. So you can ask yourself daily, what is the most integrity aligned action I can take today? Not the biggest, not the hardest, not the cleanest, but the most integrity aligned action. And that is how ambition actually compounds without burnout. So again, how am I using this in 2026? I'm not going to use the law of ambition to do more. I'm using it to hold more. I want to let ambition be slow and steady. I want to consistently choose regulation over pressure. I want especially to expand my financial capacity without forcing growth because of course like I've been equating success and momentum with financial security and success, and I'm trying to separate those two, and leading from embodiment and not urgency. Ambition isn't something that you chase. It's something that comes up when you stop abandoning yourself. And if ambition has felt inconsistent or heavy, nothing has necessarily gone wrong. It's just that your system is asking for safety first. And that is something that you can build. So if this has landed, sit with it. Don't necessarily rush to apply this. Let your body integrate it first. Write down notes as you're listening to it or voice note it to yourself. But this is definitely an opportunity to start leveraging tools that help you increase your capacity. Getting into breath work, like deeper journeys, not just yogic breath. Looking at nervous system regulation tools. This is an opportunity to start unloading the things that are keeping you full and stagnant and creating space so that you can actually build capacity. And if this episode has resonated in any way, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a review, send me an email, find me on Instagram at The Deliberate One, and send me some messages. Let me know how you're using the law of ambition. Like, did you know about this law of ambition? I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, breathe it in, be deliberate, and please be good to yourself.